You want to say hi to the video, Benyo? As you can tell, I'm not in my original filming space, which was my room, but this time I'm in my parents' room. Apparently, the theme family fits pretty appropriately for this video, which you'll see later. And so yeah, that's why in my can't speak. That's why I'm in my parents' room, but also because they're out for a work trip. So hi, my name is Petran and I'm an animation student based in Indonesia. And in this video, I'm going to be taking you guys along on how I made this 2D/3D animation, which I will roll the clip. And you can check that animation out in my channel's YouTube Shorts, which I will link down in the description below. But you can also check that out in my Instagram at @Zezuart. So what I wanted to achieve for this animation particularly was to be able to experiment and work with different outdoor lighting scenarios, whether it's daytime, nighttime, sunset. So I had this concept based on a story that I was working on a year ago. Basically, the main plot line is about a woman who goes back to her childhood house years after she witnessed a murder of her family member back when she was a child. And so basically, I want the animation to be a teaser of some sort of this story that I had. So my vision for the animation specifically was to, like I said, incorporate different times of day and different outdoor lighting scenarios, but also I want this animation to be kind of a montage on how the house, the woman's childhood house, evolved throughout the years ever since the beginning of the incident until she revisits her childhood home. So basically my vision was that the first shot of the animation was like daytime with the house still in very good condition. We see these 2 or 3 kids riding their bike, their nanny chasing them, or in Indonesia, you could call it ba. And then in the second shot, it cuts to a different time of the day, which is nighttime. It cuts to the house in nighttime, and we see all these police cars and police. Biggie. Here are my 2 dogs. This is Biggie. That's Benyo. So we see these police cars and the police tape, and it's basically a murder investigation. The murder just happened. This is basically the climax of the whole story. Then the third shot takes place around a few days or months after the incident, and then the last shot takes place years after the incident. Basically, we see this shot of the woman character staring at the house, and then she takes a step into the house. Well, not into the house, but she just takes a step towards the house. And did I mention the third shot is going to be sunset, and then the last shot is going to be like a gloomy kind of environment. That was basically the plan of the animation. And also, I wanted the theme to be Indonesian because, to be honest, I rarely delve deep into my own country's culture. I don't know, maybe because how diverse the culture is, that sometimes overwhelms me, to be honest. That's the thing though, like, because we have access to these amazing, wonderful, diverse cultures, like I feel like why not embrace it and make art with it. And so Bhinneka Tunggal Ika my god. And I also want the family to be Indonesian, and I want it to take place in Indonesia. Don't know where it is specifically. I can confirm, however, that the family is Batak, or at least their culture is Batak, because the main character wears a batik pattern inspired by the Batak culture. This story is still very vague. I haven't expanded the plot yet, so I'm not going into specific details on the story. But who knows, maybe if you guys are interested with this basic plot line, maybe I'll expand it, and maybe I'll use this for another future project. Okay, so we have the default cube, and I'm just going to start shaping. Let me add a camera, by the way. It's gonna be low angle. So far it's like that, but I'm not gonna worry about the camera yet. Do you want the house tour? This, boom, boom, boom. I wanna have like a balcony here and some pillars here. So I did continue the modeling off camera, and I kind of changed some things up. For example, as you can see, the camera angle kind of changed. To be honest, I kind of just switched the angle. It was on the left side before, but now it's on the right side. And obviously I added some more stuff, like I detailed the roof, I added some pillars, windows, some stairs, and I'm gonna continue modeling some windows. So at this point, I'm just continuing modeling the house. I added some windows, I added a door, I also played around with the lighting, and then I added the sky. Then I just continued modeling the rest of the house. Here's the recent update. I added grass, well, just the texture. As you can see, I also added a very low resolution brick texture, and also this pillar. And I'm gonna probably continue texturing, especially the house, so we shall see. Oh yeah, look at that. Amazing. Can't wait to put the grass too. I want to make another. Whoa, no. What the f did I just do? Oh sh. So at this point, I'm just texturing the house. It's just me texturing the roof and making adjustments to the texture, making it darker. And then I added the grass. Finally, I used the particle system, and I played around with the randomness of the particle system. And then I did some weight painting because I wanted the grass to be in a specific area so that I can put a road in the middle of the land. And I just used this image of grass that I got from Google, and then I used that as my grass texture, and I put that in the particle system. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good so far. Okay, as you can see, I added clouds, I added trees, I added the texture to the lamp. I also forgot to mention that I added a road. I textured the road, and so yeah, that's another addition that I forgot to mention. Trees are just, 2D planes crisscrossed together. The majority of the clouds I made in shaders, but also there are some that I just imported a PNG plane, and I kind of like the uncanny feeling of it, to be honest. So yeah, now I'm gonna try making a gate, because I forgot to make a gate for the entrance, so I have to do that. I hope it doesn't really ruin the scene, because I'm scared that if I add a gate, it's gonna kind of cover the majority of the scene. Basically, the story is that this family is pretty rich, and you need some high security if you're a rich family, you know what I mean? So I kind of have to make a gate. I'm not sure about the design yet. It's okay, we shall figure it out. Should I just use like a 2D PNG image of like a gate? House gate.
PNG. Yeah, like, ooh. I kind of just want to do this. Like, this one's pretty simple. So now the journey continues. I added the PNG gate that I was talking about just to make my life way more easier so that I don't have to model anything again. And now I move on into the next scene slash shot of the animation, which is the night scene. I mentioned that I wanted this to be a crime scene with police cars, and so I modeled a police car. I also did the texture customly, and then I put it in the model and it looks really good. I then added the lights in the car, the brake lights, and then siren lights, and yeah, that's the finished car model. Then I put the car in the scene and I edited the shot. I edited the scene to make it nighttime, and then I also brightened up the siren lights, and I also added more lights into the house. And then I added the police tape. I made it customly in Photoshop, and then I had to do a lot of adjustments so that I can get the angle that I want and so that the tape doesn't block the house. Then I animated the police lights to make it constantly blink. And then I also animated the camera. I did a little zoom in the shot. Okay, so this is a different scene. This is the sunset scene. I apologize if I didn't record any of the process for it because I needed to lock in. For the sky, I just used an HDR shader. I got it from Blender Kit. I just picked it out, the ones that are in here. Well, only the ones that are unlocked. For example, this one. I used this one, I think, for this particular scene. So I have the sun facing this way and then facing towards the house. I only made a few changes. I don't know if you can hear my dog outside, but he's crazy. I retextured the walls to make it a little bit more, say, like abandoned and dirty. And then I made the trees bigger because obviously trees grow. Trees don't stay the same size throughout this whole like montage of time periods. And then that's kind of it. I made the grass a little bit taller as well. I made the grass a little bit taller. I don't know if you can tell, but like it's a little bit taller. I also made the roof a little bit darker just to make the house a little bit more abandoned. Oh, and also I added a few vines. I added like 2 vines here. But later in the fourth shot or scene, it's gonna have a lot more vines because you know it's a lot more abandoned. And yeah, that's the sunset scene. Now this is the last shot. It's tilted. So I made the house a lot more abandoned. I added more vines, like I said. I made the grass a lot more taller. And I made the trees way taller. Like I wanted the last scene to be foggy and gloomy, and so I used this HDR again from Blender Kit. I forgot which one I used. Oh, I think it's this one. Suburban football field. When there's a football field right there. So yeah, it's tilted because I wanted the clouds to be more visible in the scene. Because when I didn't tilt it that much, it wasn't showing the amount of gloominess that I wanted. I also forgot to show for the other scene. I added some camera movement. I also animated the HDR so that the clouds, it looks like it moves. So the environment part is done. Just need to animate the things that I want to animate, and yeah, and we move on. I also forgot to mention this, but I added some wind in the first shot of the animation. So I animated the leaves being blown away by the wind using some wind physics in Blender. And so yeah. Okay, editing Betran here. So as you can see, at first I tried animating the characters that I wanted in the animation in Grease Pencil in Blender. However, it didn't turn out the way I wanted to be. Like the results were just not what I wanted. So I redid it in a different animation software or app in this case, which is ToonSquid. And the reason why I didn't try again animating in Grease Pencil is because I wanted more flexibility and I wanted to multitask more. And so animating in an app with my iPad, I could animate anywhere, anytime. Like for example, if I want to animate in my bed, I can. If I want to animate in a cafe, I can. I didn't want to sit down in my desk for hours because I also had things to do. I also have other hobbies like skating. If you don't know, I'm a figure skater. Yeah, I wanted more flexibility. So here's me rough animating the characters in Grease Pencil. But I'll show you guys the before and after me animating in Grease Pencil versus me animating in Toon Squid.
I end up animating everything, all of the characters in Toon Squid. I really love the interface of Toon Squid. I feel like it's very user-friendly. It's very easy to navigate around. There's also a lot of cool features in it. I personally love the pixel effect. They have like a lot of effects in their effects library, and so I really recommend to use them.
So Toon Squid is a one-time purchase and it only costs but no, it's worth it. It costs around $10, but in rupiah it costs like around 170k rupiah, which I think again it's worth the purchase because they have a lot of features like I said in there. So yeah, if you're looking for an alternative, cheaper animation software or app, I highly recommend Toon Squid. It's worth it.
Not sponsor or anything, but Toon Squid, if you want to sponsor me. I've been a user since 2 years ago.
Next, I finally composite everything in After Effects. I mainly just added some rim lighting to the characters, some shadows, and this was the part where I combined all of the raw Blender footage together and combine all of the animations together. Also added some filters to make it more VHS style and this little title graphic. One of the last things that I had to do was to make the music and the sound effects for the animation itself. I made it all in GarageBand. For the main music, I used a traditional Batak song that I got off from YouTube. There's this part in the song where it sounded like crying or sobbing, but in a pretty horrific and creepy way, and I really wanted to use that part in the soundtrack, and I think it sounds really cool.
And so that's pretty much it for my process overall. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I really had fun making this animation. I definitely think this is like one of my favorite animation pieces that I've made. I kind of never made something like this. I thought there was a bug. I thought there was a bug, but it's just a little feather. But yeah, I haven't made anything really like this, and so I was really proud of the outcome. I really love the result of it. And so stay tuned for more process videos to come. Whenever I make animations or projects, I really love talking about the process of it. I feel like it's just so, I don't know, magical to see how my art comes to life. Yeah. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. You can check out my Instagram once again at @sezuart. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.